Hi there, thank you for joining me to chat about this latest episode of Sister Wives. We're on season 18, episode 11. If you're a fan of the show, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also let me know your thoughts in the comments. You can also hit the thumbs up button, whatever works well for you. So we see in the beginning of the episode, Christine says she is dating, just casually, just having fun, nothing serious at this point. Janelle says Christine has been working with a matchmaker and she's so happy for her in this new stage of her life. We see where it's the day of Christine's 50th birthday, and so she's really excited, and they're getting the place decorated for her 50s themed birthday party, and then they're gonna have a food truck. Everybody's dressed up in period clothing and everybody looks nice. And we see where Mykelti is showing them some updated sonograms, which shows the babies a little bit clearer. And she reveals that she's going to reveal to the rest of the family that she's pregnant with twins. I think that they know she's pregnant, but they don't know that it's going to be twins. And Christine says that they're going to be fraternal twins. And so when the twins are born, Mykelti is going to have 3 children under the age of 2. My goodness, she's going to have her hands full for sure. Tony says that the doctors were wondering, how they did that when they didn't really have twins in their family and they didn't have like any kind of IVF treatment or anything like that. But they had mentioned that the doctors had said that she shouldn't have been able to get pregnant while breastfeeding. I don't know if that's like a old woman's tale or if that's really, really true, but that's what he said in the episode. So I'll have to look that up and see what's really true about that. Anyway, Christine says that there are no twins on Tony's side of the family, but Kody has nieces that are twins and that her father has brothers that are twins. So clearly there are twins in the family, contrary to what Kody had said, because if I'm recalling correctly, he had said that there were no twins on his side of his family that he knows of, but you would think that he would know if he had a niece or nieces that were twins, but he said that they didn't. So, was that a white lie that he was telling? But anyway, Christine kind of debunked that with telling us where the twins are in the family. Mykelti said that she had told Robin and Kody about the twins first because she said that she needed help. She said that Robin had a lot of morning sickness while Christine didn't, and so she was looking for advice as well. Robin says that she is not, she said that in her confessional that, she said, I guess I was the first person they told and I'm honored and, not quite sure why she felt the need to bring that up, but okay. She says that she's glad that Mykelti felt safe to do that. Christine mentions that, how close Mykelti and Robin were when they were growing up. And she says that, there are things that she will share with Robin and Kody first, and there are things that she will share with her first. So she doesn't mind that she, told Robin and Kody first about the pregnancy. Ultimately, Christine says that it's her life and she doesn't really take issue with her decisions. It's her life to live and she's going to respect, how she lives it and what her choices are in her life. She's just there to support her. So Mykelti is going to tell the rest of the family at the party that she is pregnant with twins. So that's going to be exciting news. So we see where the guests arrive. There's Christine. Christine's mom is there along with a few friends. There's Janelle and her children. Janelle's sister and her husband are there. And of course, Janelle's children. Christine is so happy and excited to see everybody. And she was extremely happy to see that they're also dressed up as well, which she really wasn't expecting. So in the confessional, she mentioned that, plural marriage had been decriminalized in Utah while they were living in Flagstaff. So she said that as soon as she found out that she was instantly excited to move back. And then we see a flashback of a chat, I guess a little circle, a powwow that they were having. It was with her, the other wives, and Kody. And she brought up, she was asking she doesn't see why they're still there in Flagstaff when plural marriage has been decriminalized in Utah. So I'm guessing that that's the reason that they ended up moving to Flagstaff. But we didn't see in this flashback what the reaction was from the other folks in the group. So I don't know if she was the only one who wanted to move back, why they ended up staying put, or what ultimately caused them to not move back. So if you've been watching since the beginning, do drop a comment, let me know, like, what became of that conversation? Like, why didn't they end up moving back? Because Christine said that she wanted to move back home again so they can be with family. And they probably would have, better support there if they had family who would be able to help out. So Christine says she wondered if they had moved back to Utah, how differently things would be with the family. And she wondered if, she says that if she had stayed, that she feels like, it would just prolong her moving. And I feel like ultimately, the outcome would probably be the same, because Kody is the same person that he's always been. So regardless of the location, if he's doing everything the same as he had been doing them in Flagstaff, it still wouldn't work. Kody says in his confessional that he doesn't think that where they live would make a difference. Robin says she wondered if they had made different decisions, i.e. moving back to Utah or building the family home that they had contemplated building, if the family would still be together. Janelle, on the other hand, says she doesn't believe that anything would have been different because the writing was already on the wall at the time that that had happened when the decriminalization took place. So she doesn't feel like anything would have been different for the family. She also mentioned that at that point in time, the Kody's preference to Robin was already becoming prominent to all the wives. So that was kind of a breaking point in their dynamic at that point. So regardless, that caused a huge fracture, and that was present. So still wouldn't make a difference. So we see where Mykelti made the announcement that she was pregnant with twins. And also at this point, just noticed that she was matching with Janelle's sister. Janelle was so excited and she teared up. And Tony says that she doesn't cry a lot. So it was extra, extra special, that Janelle was so emotional about the pregnancy. Janelle says, now I think I'm going to need a house here or something. And I was like, ooh, is this hinting that she's leaving? That would be exciting. So Janelle, she looks really, really cute in her little green dress. I was like, oh my goodness, look at her. She's all dressed up. And her sister look so much alike. So I was excited to see her out the house and doing something other than with Kody. And later on in the episode, we see where everybody goes back inside after they've done their order from the food truck and everything, and they had their greeting and chit-chat. And everyone seemed to be having a great time. They had a photo wall where they're able to take pictures inside. Janelle says that she felt like it was a declaration of independence for Christine, and she's very, very happy for her. We see we see Robin in the confessional saying that, her and her kids were not invited, and once again lamenting about how they are having family gatherings without her, which, I wouldn't really classify this as a family gathering per se. A birthday party usually doesn't have all the family coming together like that, It's more reserved to close family and friends, and of course, if you have closer family members, they're going to be there, but it's not that you wouldn't invite other extended family, but it's typically you can only invite so many people. So it's not like a Thanksgiving where everybody's there. So if you're not as close to Christine, then why would you expect to be invited? I just didn't get that part. I understand maybe the children, getting to hang out together, but why is she having an issue with not being invited? I'm also surprised that Kody didn't have anything to say about this. I didn't see him mention anything about the party. Christine said it would have been great for Robin's kids to see their siblings, but it's not the place. And I would agree. I feel like, if she really wanted that for the children to get together, why not call Christine and organize something instead of bemoaning not being invited to the birthday party? I'm sorry, I just can't seem to get a genuine vibe from Robin, because there's other opportunities to do this, but this is the time that she's taking, to bring out the fact that the kids are not together. There's so many other opportunities to do so, but she hasn't. So Christine says she cannot tell us what she wished for when she blew her candles out, because if she does tell us, then it's not going to come through. But she does hint that it has something to do with, her wishes for a romantic relationship. So we see where Mykelti has made the cakes. She said, Christine said that she made them from scratch. Mykelti says that there's one with alcohol, one without. And Janelle says she had alcohol. So this did Christine. Christine said, I had the one with alcohol. I'm not a fool. I'm going to enjoy my party. Oh, she was having a great time. And she says, I'm kidding. I had both. So she was having a good time. Janelle says it's been the easiest party she's been to. No politics. She didn't have to cater to anyone. She didn't have to worry about people running late and all that. She really enjoyed herself. Christine says that her and Janelle and her kids are family, and it meant a lot to her that Janelle was able to make it. So it's really, really sweet. Of the people in the family, these two have really developed a good relationship, which is nice for both of them. In Meri's segment, we see where she's rehashing moving the Airbnb and about Kody's reaction. Meri says she's meeting with her friend Blair, who is an interior decorator, and so he's going to show her the plans for the carriage house renovations, but she tells him that he needs to wait until Jen arrives. So she says that she met him online about 4 to 5 years ago and that she knows his husband as well. She also briefly mentioned the catfishing incident, and she says now, when she meets people online, that her prerequisite is that they have a video chat. She mentions that she does a lot of business online, so she has to make sure she does that. And she didn't really go too deeply into the catfishing thing. She says she doesn't really like to talk about it. So I don't know a whole lot about what happened with that. But anyway, this is what she mentioned in this episode. She just really comes off lonely. She seems to try to find friends online versus getting out or using, her local community or friends of friends or doing things to meet friends. I just wonder again, where are her families? Jen, her only friend, and then where are her family outside of the sister wives and kids? She just comes off really lonely to me. So they went ahead, her and Blair went ahead to the carriage house to look around, and then they proceeded to talk a little bit about the layout on the main floor. But were they supposed to do that? Because they said they weren't going to talk about it when they were talking about what's going to be where. But maybe Jen already knew that part. So Jen finally arrives, and then we see a confessional of Robin saying that she knew Jen from when they lived in Las Vegas. She says that she wished her and Robin could be more like... She says she wishes that her and Meri could be more like Meri and Jen, but she guesses it's a different dynamic having been in the sister-wife situation. And then she goes on to say that she's not jealous, but she wants more too. And I was like, more of what? I mean, Meri pretty much grovels at your feet. What more do you want? I didn't understand what she was saying with this. What more does she want? So maybe somebody can decode this for me. I just don't understand what she was talking about here. Anyway, Jen arrives, and then Blair went back inside to set things up. Meri says she hasn't shared the project with anyone in the family. She only wants to share things with the people that she cares about and the people that care about her and supports her. So she says other than her kids and Jen, no one really knows about the renovation, her plans. I mean, she did mention that she was going to renovate the carriage house, but I guess she's speaking about the specific as far as what exactly she's doing in it. But anyway, I guess her and Robin aren't best friends anymore, or what's happening between the two, because that was her best buddy. So she didn't bring her up as being in the know about the renovation. So I was like, that's interesting. Janelle says that Kody wanted to come over to see the new apartment, which she said that's fine. Kody is once again bringing up how he feels rejected by Janelle because she says no when he asks to reconcile. Janelle says, if he really wanted to reconcile, then he would be actively pursuing that, and he would have made more effort, like call the counselor. But she says that there hasn't been any communication or conversation. And I think he just says that to, I think he just asked to say that, well, she's rejecting me, because he's clearly not really making any effort. He's not really doing any work. He's just asking the question all the time. But then after he asks, then there's crickets. So I just don't get why he's even asking. So I agree with Janelle. If he really wanted to reconcile, more would have been done versus continually posing the question. It's almost reminding me of being spammed, when you continually getting the same, emails all the time and then, nothing. It's like he's spamming her out with these questions all the time, but then after he asks the question, then he still doesn't do anything. So after he says that, in the confessional, he goes on to say, neither of us are that interested. But then he says he's trying to be interested and trying to talk reconciliation. And I'm like, Kody, you literally just said that you're not that interested. Mind you, he grouped Janelle in it too, but you still are in neither of us are that interested. So why do you keep asking? It's giving I'm following orders. He says, when he says he might be happy, then he says he might be happy that she's not wanting to reconcile. I don't understand. So you're happy that she doesn't want to reconcile, but then you keep asking to reconcile. Okay, yeah. It's giving I'm following orders. Because he clearly is not interested, but then he keeps asking. It's almost like a scratched record. It's the same thing over and over. Nothing changes. So anyway, Janelle says Kody is making an effort with Savannah more than he had been in the beginning of the year, and that he's taken her out every so often. So when he arrives, he's like, wow, big place. She says that it's the nicest place that she's been since she's been in Flagstaff. Kody says that, he has a sweet relationship with Savannah, but he's not as close with Gabe and Garrison. So it's only been a few months that he's taken some interest in Savannah. So I don't know what he means by that. I guess because he's making a little bit of effort and he feels like now he has this great relationship with her. He says he hopes that in time, this is what he said, we'll get over this, which I took for code that, well, I'm just going to let it simmer and die down, and then I'm going to wait for them to be tired of not having their dad, and then they can come back, and voila, I don't need to do any work. They'll just come to me and be like, okay, it's time we get over this, and then, he's going to agree, and then we're back again. So it doesn't seem like he's willing to do anything to repair the relationship with his sons, but he's just sitting there and hoping for something to happen. He says right now that they are not willing to engage him. And I was like, why would they? Anyway, Janelle says that while they're at the apartment, Janelle says, she'll need him to hang some art for her. And he says he doesn't know if this is a test. He says being married to 4 women is like everything is a test. And then he goes on to say, pick me, do something for me. And I was like, well then, Kody, this is something that you should have considered before getting into a plural marriage, because there are multiple spouses having multiple demands. That's what's going to happen. Hello here. And so I'm not sure what Kody expected in having multiple wives, but he seemed to be annoyed at the fact that the wives would ask anything of him, and why does he feel like they want to be picked? I just felt like he was kind of insulting. I would take offense to it if he was referring to me. Anyway, after he's going through the apartment, taking a tour, he marvels at the bathroom, how big it is, how cool the place is. He likes it because the other apartment was not, the apartment was so cramped. He says he thinks the reason that Janelle moved is because the other apartment was theirs. And so this one, he says he doesn't feel like he will be living there with her. And I was like, wow, very perceptive of you regarding the living situation. But then also, why does he feel that her moving apartment has anything to do with him? He is so full of himself. Then he says that there's no room for him here other than, well, this is the place that your daughter lives at. He says it's her apartment, not ours. Well, yeah. not ours. He says, I don't even know why I don't know why she's even showing me this. Well, Kody, Janelle said that you asked to see the apartment, or have you forgotten? What do you mean? Anyway, back at Meri, Blair is ready to show them the proposal for the space. Blair proposes that they have a white countertop on the island that they're going to have. And Meri says no, she doesn't like white. And so then they look at the light fixtures, and Jen was looking at the options, and she pointed to one. She's like, she didn't pick this one? And Blair was like, no. So I guess it's because the light fixture had a circular part to it. Meri says she doesn't like circles. So Meri goes on to suggest about how difficult she is to please. And she's like, y'all saw me when I built my home in Las Vegas. And so we see some flashback of them walking through the house while the house was being built, and Meri having concerns. You know, she's saying she didn't want a sliding door. She had something to do with, she had brought up something maybe being off-centered or whatever. Of course, all the concerns that she brought up, Kody kind of brushed them off and says pretty much who cares in the confessional. He says that Meri just wanted to be in charge of something he said Meri wanted to be in charge of where things were placed. And he says that she was a little bit of a control freak, and then he was pretty much laughing at her. Like, basically what I was getting from this was he was like, oh, poor little thing. She wanted to be in charge of something. Aww. Basically, that's the vibe I was getting with what he was saying, because he was saying that sort of in a sarcastic way. And I was like, oh my God, poor lady. So they are trying to, back with Meri, they're trying to convince her to do the white countertop. She says she wanted wood grain. And so she says they'll have to do more research on that, or searching. And Blair mentions that, you know, she won't be able to see the space until the final reveal, so she won't be able to get to control anything. After that, she goes on to say how much of a control freak she is. She says she always wants things her way, and that she thinks that this is a part of her protecting herself because she has to put herself first. And I was like, well, I don't see it. She feels that it's something that maybe she needs to lay off a bit. And I was like, gee, I wouldn't want to see that. What would that look like? Because if you're a control freak now and you accept these types of treatment from Kody, then that control freak button needs to be turned up. Because usually, you know, a control freak has to control, you know, everything that's going on. They want to make sure that other person's doing the stuff the way they want to. And in that case, when it comes to Kody, I don't see it. Maybe she's talking about things and not like overall being a control freak, because I had to really look up, you know, remind myself of what a control freak is, because I just didn't see it. Are there specific instances that come to mind where Meri is like putting herself first, or Meri displayed to us as the audience that she's a control freak? I don't know. I've just been watching this season. I think maybe Meri meant to say that she's a perfectionist, maybe, or maybe she's nitpicky, but I just don't see control freak. I mean, a control freak is a person who has a powerful need to control people or circumstances in everyday matters. And I just don't see where Meri lines up with that. But okay, that's what she says of herself, and that's what she believes. Anyway, back at the apartment, Kody says that she had no idea why Janelle moved. He says that if she told him, he's forgotten. I was like, wow, way to pay attention, Kody. He also asked about the square footage of the apartment. It's about 1,500 square feet. And then Janelle mentions that her house that she plans to build, the floor plan that she has drawn up for it, is about 1,200 square feet. Kody says that it's either they build the casita or build the main house and build the casita later. Janelle says, you know, he's not putting any money up, so she doesn't understand why he's doing all this wailing and giving criticisms and opinions. He says that we could build a 1,500 or a 2,000 square foot house. He says it would be a waste to build a 1,200 square foot above a garage on 2 acres. And it's almost as if he's like ridiculing what she wants. Like it's too small for the size of the lot. And I was like, so what? Not everyone wants a massive house. A larger lot doesn't mean you have to build a massive house on it. And I'm like, what's your point? What is your point? She wants a 1,200 square foot house. Let her build her 1,200 square foot house. And so I don't know why he's coming in and trying to make changes. Just like Janelle was saying, like, this has nothing to do with you, buddy. What are you talking about? So he says, well, it doesn't work for me. And then he corrects himself and says, well, it's not up to me anymore. I just have opinions. And I was like, yeah, unsolicited ones at that. Anyway, Janelle says that, she mentions to him that they need to pay off the land. And in her confessional, she says that she's seriously considering building there, which is Coyote Pass, and that she really wants to do that because it's all that she has to show for all the years that she's invested. And she says that she doesn't know if Kody will get his poop in a group and build there. That was so funny to me. I got a little chuckle from that. And it's the first time that I heard that, and I'm like, I think I might use this on the kids. Janelle says that she doesn't care what they do, whether they build or they don't build. She says there's such thing as a fence. She'll just have to build a fence if she needs to and forget them. She's going to do what she has to do, and she doesn't care about what they're doing. She says she doesn't see Kody in the equation. So, yeah, Kody was very perceptive. You're not going to be living in the apartment, and you're not going to be in her house. So just simmer down. So eventually the conversation began to fizzle out, and then he brings up the difference in the countertops. There's black countertops by the cabinets, and then there's a white one by the island. He's like, oh, why are they different colors? And she's like, I don't know. We didn't even notice that. And so then Savannah brings up how deep the sink cabinet is, or how deep the sink is. And I was like, oh gosh, bless her heart. Savannah's trying to help with the awkwardness that's developed now. Janelle, in her confessional, had to laugh because she's like, things got so awkward. She's like, we're just trying to find things to say at this point. Meanwhile, Kody basically says in his confessional that he doesn't give a crap about the sink because he's probably not going to be doing dishes there. And I was like, yeah, it sounds about right. I don't think you'll be doing dishes there either. Kody says he feels like he's living a double life. He has a whole life outside of Savannah and Janelle, but whenever he's with them, he doesn't talk about his other life. He says that the other life consumes most of his time, and so he doesn't have anything to talk about when he's with them. And I was like, oh my God, wow. So basically, he spends his time and energy focused on Robin and his children, and he doesn't really have anything to say or do when he comes over to hang with Janelle and Savannah. So there's nothing in their lives that you're curious about, nothing in their lives that you want to participate in, nothing in their lives you want to do. It's insane. I have no energy or interest in you guys because my other life consumes all of it. So yeah, that's where they're at. He mentions reconciling again and said that Janelle had no interest in the relationship with Meri and Robin. He says that's too bad because that's the deal they made, which is funny because he didn't keep the deal that he made with Meri. And then also, why is he bringing up Meri when he is essentially not with Meri? So in a roundabout way, what I'm getting from this is that he wants her to mend fences with Robin. So Janelle says that if they're not reconciling, then why would he be trying to develop or build a relationship with the other wives? And she says that they don't even have anything in common. So, there's nothing for them to do together. And she feels like he is just making excuses to be able to say that she's a bad sister wife because he knows fully well that she doesn't have a relationship with the other wives, but yet he's bringing that up. She says that he never comes by her and says that he loves her or misses her. He's always only bringing up getting the family back together, and she doesn't want anything to do with that. And I'm like, you go, Janelle. Do not put up with that. Kody says that he said about the whole the whole thing that he's going to ask her. He said he's sad about the whole thing and that he's going to ask her to reconcile next week. Okay, so didn't you just spend the last few minutes whining and griping about her not wanting to reconcile, and that neither of you are that interested, and that you don't have the energy because you spent all your energy at your other house? So why are you now saying you're going to ask her to reconcile again next week? He says that, and then he goes on to say, well, maybe I should get more serious about it. And I was like, no crap, Sherlock. So it just seems like to me that he's just playing games. Like, why are you bothering? It's clear that you're not interested. So why would you then proceed to try to ask her to reconcile again? Are you that bored that you just feel like, okay, I'm bored. Let me go ask Janelle to reconcile again. But I'm glad to see that Janelle is putting her foot down. So the episode closes out with Meri rehashing the anniversary conversation. And then we also see the old wedding footage again. I don't know why we're seeing this again. Anyway, she says it's been a few months since it's happened and that she's still processing things. She's also talking about 2 huge trees in the front of the Airbnb that she needs to cut down. And so we see footage of that being done. She said that she's sad because those trees had been around since her grandmother was a kid. And so she's sad to see them go. She goes on to say that the Airbnb is her safe space, but then she also rehashes the anniversary situation some more. She also mentions that she had talked to Robin about him, when Kody had mentioned that, oh, I got to watch Solomon, let me talk to Robin. She says that, she would never plan anything on that date because she already knew that it was their anniversary. So Kody, I had figured that Kody was lying about, oh, let me see and get back to you. Robin already knew what date it was, so why would there be an issue with him going out with her? So anyway, she found out that from Robin. Robin was like, I wouldn't plan anything on that day. Christine says in her confessional that, pretty much Kody and Meri used to be the it couple and everybody wanted to be around them. They were so, that she had gotten involved with Kody based on how well he treated Meri. That he was just so charming to her. He was so sweet to her. Janelle also mentions that, when she entered the marriage, that Kody and Meri were really close and in love. But then, Kody had mentioned, I think Meri had mentioned that Kody said that that wasn't the case, that they weren't in love and all that. But you have 2 people independent of Meri saying how, they were close, they were a great couple, they were in love and all that. So Kody is denying all this, so I don't get it. Was he faking? I don't understand. Maybe he was just saying that just to hurt her, but it seems that they were at some point had a great relationship and then, it's broken down. Well, that doesn't mean that you deny all the times or the good times that you've had together, which is what he was doing. So anyway, Meri says that, if Kody can't see the value in the 30 years that they had together, and he really doesn't. She says she doesn't get it. It seems like she doesn't really get it even after Kody has made it crystal clear. She's saying that she still doesn't know what to do next, whether to stick around on the fringes of the family or to terminate the relationship with Kody. She says that he made it clear that there's no hope, so she doesn't know what to do. Oh my goodness, I thought she got it last week in the last episode, but I guess she didn't. Meri should go to therapy, learn how to cultivate a little self-esteem, and move along. Once again, the episode ends with this, with the mess between Meri and Kody. And I pray and hope that there's no more rehashing of this, no more rehashing of the video footage or the anniversary conversation. Good Lord, I'm tired already. Anyway, I think these are the main events of this episode. Let me know your thoughts about what's happened. Also, like, comment, and subscribe.